Gun to the back of my head, I can't name 5 Joey Badass songs. Kendrick will never respond to Joey Badass or refuses. Let's check it out.
I don't even know what planet he on. What Joey Badass is slapping every on the West Coast lyrically. I seen Absol sit there and like he looking around like he don't even know what planet he on.
Bro, I reacted to the Joey Badass, the Big Sean and Absol like Cypher Red Bull thing that they did. But tell me why after I get done recording it, I'm about to edit it and put it together and export it, right? My mic was muted the entire time. My mic was muted the entire time. That's not the first time that happened before, too. I've recorded videos and my mic was muted. So I just deleted this shit, bro. I just deleted this shit, bro. This shit is disappointing, my boy.
What I'm saying is this. If Kendrick not responding, I'm not covering it. So yeah, like, oh, why you don't cover lyrics?
Which album never became videos? I think it was in albums. It was like music videos sometimes, just like regular reactions. GNX almost didn't become a album reaction because I realized that after I did that little trailer thing, I stopped recording and I started recording again. And I reacted to the first 3 songs and I had to re-record. I was like, dang, this is gonna get a lot of views. I'm gonna just re-react to the first 3 ones. The first 3 videos. Yeah, so the first 3 video songs for GNX was yeah. You should react to Sorry Not Sorry music video. That's Tyler, right? I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out before the Duke video. Remind me before the Duke video.
Because when the boy got called out, he didn't send out Smiley. He ain't sent out top 5. He ain't sent out nobody else. He popped out. You call for the king, we want the king. I don't want to see the gestures pop out.
Beef has been embedded in hip-hop's DNA for decades now, and perhaps more than ever, it remains one of the few sacred tools for cutting through the noise where simply dropping a good song often isn't good enough. Last May, it was defined by the Clash of the Titans, with Kendrick and Drake engaging in what was the squabble of the century. And despite the initial claims that certain accusations had done irreparable damage to Drake's career, he's still breaking sales records till this day. Meanwhile, Kendrick has been on a historic run, encompassing everything from a historic Super Bowl halftime performance to a tour that's now led him to making upwards of $14 million per night. In this instance, we all saw how beef can spark an evolution of an artist's legacy, especially after taking down a major rival.
Squabble of the century was Tyler and DJ Khaled. Oh, I forgot they even had like something going on. That nigga Khaled was just salty that his album just didn't go #1.
Just think about the state of Nas's career before his emotionally charged beef with Hov lit a fire under him once more, reminding him why he was a top-tier MC with Ether and the subsequent Stillmatic album that followed. But unfortunately,
bro, Stillmatic is so hard, but Jay-Z won that beef in my opinion.
For some misguided rappers, diving into a beef doesn't guarantee a boost in their standing. Elevating diss tracks from niche fan debates to a full-blown career resurgence takes more than just bars. It requires the right mix of timing.
That nigga Joey Badass just won a beef with Kendrick just to revive his fucking rap career. Bro, go act or something, bro. Go act.
Narrative and impact to truly capture the world's attention and shift the culture.
Like, if I was Kendrick, I would not give Joey Badass the time of day. I wouldn't give him a single bar. I wouldn't sneak diss him. I wouldn't do none of that. You get nothing.
Badass is learning that
make a hit
firsthand as he decimates.
If he make a hit, I give it to him.
Makes every MC that the West Coast sends his way. Despite being a recognizable name in hip-hop and now in the acting world, Joey's a rapper who hasn't quite found his place in the current era of hip-hop. In truth, he struggled to replicate the seismic impact he made at the outset of his career. But when you've recorded a timeless mixtape at 17 like he did with 1999, it's always going to be a struggle to keep that pace up. And while his skills have never been
Are you excited for Bully? Kanye album? No.
Called into question, the lengthy delay between projects didn't help and has pretty much meant that most of his music has underperformed on the commercial level, despite gaining unanimous praise on the underground. In fact, with the exception of Devastated and his writing credits on Post Malone's Rockstar, he's barely got a plaque on the wall. Now, this doesn't necessarily define Joey, as many of the most renowned artists in the history of hip-hop were never appreciated in their own time or topped the charts. The problem is that throughout his career, Joey has always wanted to be among the elite. And although he'd probably downplay it now, Joey had always been an admirer of Kendrick, using him as a measuring stick as he ascended into greatness in his own right, in terms of how you can balance lyrical substance with sales.
Before we had him, we was really in a critical condition, you know what I'm saying? But to me, it's just funny because, like I said, I've been a fan, I've been following since 15. But it's also different for me because, you know what I mean, now I'm one of the best rappers in the world myself, so it's like, it's competition.
And it was that competition which Joey had always tried to coax Kendrick into. After K-Dot declared himself the king of New York and insisted he was trying to retire all of his rivals by out-rapping them, Joey, whose name wasn't even mentioned, fired back on
Nigga didn't even mention him.
the knowledge-produced Killuminati too, spitting. No escaping, you in the swimming pool of champagne. You set yourself up for that one, man. The king of New York, huh? We ain't just gonna let that one hang. But just like everyone else who stepped up to the plate with a diss response aimed at Kendrick, Joey's attempt to draw him into a battle went completely ignored, with Kendrick never taking the bait. So instead, Joey tried a new strategy. On the track The Baddest from his most recent album 2000, Joey instead gave Kendrick his props by shouting out the men he felt were his artistic equals, spitting, Kenny, Joey, and Cole, the holy trinity. It's that 9-5s in affinity. But while Kendrick and Cole were selling out arenas worldwide, Joey has remained stationary, and if anything, aged out of the era where he was most prominent. So with that, Joey switched up his approach yet again in the wake of Kendrick reviving his city with Not Like Us and dropping the GNX, which was basically a showcase for rising talent from across Cali. It was clear K-Dot was embracing his role as the West Coast's leader more seriously than he had in at least a decade.
Kendrick, we need ya. West Coast savior.
If not ever. And here, Joey saw his opportunity to re-emerge on Kendrick's radar with The Ruler's Back. Among an emphatic conductor beat, Joey suggested that NY was being overshadowed by its palm tree-lined neighbors, claiming that there was, quote-unquote, too much West Coast licking going on. Straight away, this registered to fans as an attempt to yet again kickstart a feud with Cali's finest. And while it stirred up some noise, even prompting TDE's Ray Vaughn to respond with Crash Out Heritage and ruffling Daylight's feathers in the process, Joey still didn't get what he was really after. So 15 days later, he re-emerged with Sorry Not Sorry. And this time, Cole caught most of the flack, with bars like, I know that men lie, women lie, but Joey don't. Might delete later, but I know damn sure Joey won't. However, that doesn't mean that Dot got off the hook this time either.
See, I knew Joey. I didn't like Joey Badass for a reason, bro. I knew it. You keep J. Cole's name out your fucking mouth. You hear that, butter? You hear that? Joey fucking Badass. Gun to the back of my head, I can't name 5 Joey Badass songs.
Instead, Joey kept coming at his
I know one verse, and that was off an X song, and it was hard. I love that. I love that verse. The song that he got with X, what is it called? AAA Infinity or something like that? I don't know.
It's of honor.
I forget the name of the song.
Spitting.
It's Infinity, yeah.
Cat got his tongue. He's been missing all week. Nah.
I honestly don't know any Joey Badass songs. Hold up. Because I know who Joey Badass is, but I just don't know any songs. Let me see. Songs. What is your greatest hits, man? 95 till Infinity. Bro, I don't know none of this. Sorry Not Sorry. Is this what you were talking about? Is this Flo? Is this what you're talking
With
about?
hotels.
I thought you meant Sorry Not Sorry. Nope, Tyler. Okay, I was finna say. What the hell? All right.
Perfect time.
Speaking of which, should I react to Biebs in a Trap or what's it called? Pink and White by Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean's album.
Time to separate the strong from the
Travis
weak, huh?
a-
Still, no
Travis
matter
a
what he tried,
Frank
Joey
Ocean.
seemed unable to coax Kendrick to the light. Instead, he kept getting pitted against Ray Vaughn. And on Pardon Me, he seemed aware that it had no stakes for him, rapping, "Nobody knows your name, kid, but I know what your aim is. I shoot you, I'm brainless, you shoot me, you're famous." But as we now know, Joey tried to lead by example, sparring with any and all challengers in what has been a lyrical clinic on his part. And while Joey is probably no further forward nor backward, there's a case to be made that he put the West on its back foot once more. And that brings us to May 13th, 2025. The real meat of this beef commenced after Joey stood shoulder to shoulder with Ab-Soul and Big Sean for a nostalgic freestyle with
Ab-Soul is such a hoe ass nigga. This nigga Joey Badass was talking crazy about TDE and California right next to him, and he was just acting like he ain't hit nothing. I lost respect for Ab-Soul for this one. Nah, y'all should have saw the reaction, bro. If my mic was on, I was giving Ab-Soul the business.
Red Bull, and with most of the headlines coming out of it stemming from Joey's relentless smoke for the West, the interesting thing was that Ab-Soul absorbed the smoke in good humor, with the TDE mainstay even acknowledging the awkward position he'd been put in, rhyming, "In which case, Joey, you put me in a sticky predicament. I had to show my solidarity to my syndicate. Now you know anybody can get it in such a way that it will make a physician conflicted." And although both sides brushed it off as playful banter, it didn't exactly reflect well on Kendrick or TDE as a whole, especially when they seemed to avoid responding to Joey's clear and intentional shots. But it was to be expected in a lot of ways. For one thing, Solo clearly had no interest in engaging, even if he made it clear that his loyalties to TDE were as intact as ever. If you know anything about Solo, feuding isn't really a part of his frequency, and most certainly not for fun. But while explaining his role in the whole freestyle in a recent interview with Vibe, he also highlighted why this back and forth hasn't truly gotten hold of the public imagination. At the end of the day, I was gonna be super cool, but man, I choreographed the whole thing. Because of the whole thing with Joey and a couple of the homies, I knew he was going to have something to say about that. Me and Joey are really close, obviously, and so we had to let the whole world know that we were just keeping it on wax. We can get busy and still shake hands. I also wanted to synchronize it to where, if you listen, we're all kind of getting at each other, he continued.
This nigga Ab-Soul is trying to do the back door on the low. See, this the type of niggas you can't trust, bro. Type of niggas you cannot trust. You gotta get them. This is a Judas ass nigga. Ab-Soul is a Judas ass nigga, bro. Get him out your circle. You can't have him around. Talking about he put the whole thing together. You know Kendrick don't mess with Big Sean. You know Kendrick is trying to ignore Joey Badass, and you supposed to be his mans, and you put, like, bro, nah.
It's a sibling rivalry. It's a friendly competition. Straight from the outset, Ab-Soul shut down any notion that this was a real beef, making it clear that things were ultimately peaceful. Because these days, fans are so used to explosive feuds, whether it's Kendrick versus Drake, Fulio versus Young and Ace, or any of the countless moments where street drama spills into the music, that a few lyrical jabs just aren't enough to get people truly hyped. And by the looks of it, K-Dot agrees. Because when you think about it, Kendrick only engages.
Rap beef is so boring if it ain't like real static. Like if them niggas aren't pulling up on each other and trying to squabble up, it's kind of boring, bro. I'm not trying to hear that friendly competition shit. If it's friendly competition, hop on the same beat and make a song together, bro. And we'll see who had a better verse. Other than that, bro, like ain't nobody trying to hear that, bro.
When there's something significant to gain, or
I want to hit drama. I want to hear. That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear no, yeah, we're brothers, kumbaya. I don't want to hear that shit, man. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear beat his ass and hide the Bible if God. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
or if there's real animosity there. Instead, people have argued that Kendrick's time would be better spent funneling.
I don't want no violence, but I want it to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Indicated. I don't know.
His energy into new projects or aiding the career of PG Lang signees like Baby Keem. On the other hand, there's a case to be made that Kendrick should respond. As someone who's now claimed top spot in hip-hop, this is what comes with the territory, and he shouldn't feel above engaging. Looking back, Drake never shied away from lesser beefs during his time of dominance when he was sparring with the likes of Joe Budden or even Meek Mill, nor did Eminem at the peak of his reign. And it's not like MGK, Benzino, ICP, or even Ja Rule was on his level, but an intrusion into his territory still merited a Benzino.
Nah, Benzino, see, bro, look at the niggas Eminem is beefing with, bro.
Likes of Joe Budden or even Meek Mill, nor did Eminem at the peak of his reign. And it's not like MGK,
Benzino, and two fucking clowns. This nigga literally beefed with two fucking clowns.
CP or even Ja Rule was on his level, but an intrusion into his territory still merited a response. However, the common denominator here is that these feuds weren't exercises undertaken for sport, but underpinned by real ill will. And at the moment, the only person who really seems to be harboring any animosity is Ray Vaughn.
Do you feel obligated sometimes to hop in that beef and maybe throw some shots?
Yes.
And do it
like
up.
That, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, nigga, I feel like any who not Drake should be just shutting the fuck up. Because if not, then it's like you gonna antagonize the other niggas who feel the same way I feel. Me, I feel it because I'm a TDE baby, so I'm gonna like take that personal.
Elsewhere, Ray underestimated Joey's skills and critiqued his instrumentation-heavy beat selection as if TDE's former general, Kendrick, hadn't dabbled with saxophones and live horns since Section 80.
Joey tight. He
He was
cool.
when
Yeah.
I make jazz music right now.
Oh.
Despite Joey saying that there was no tangible gain for him on Pardon Me, Ray pushed forward after the Red Bull freestyle with Whole Era, forcing Joey's hand to respond. And for Ray, it made a whole lot of sense. He had just dropped a mixtape that, while full of solid tracks, completely flew under the radar. So when Joey spit,
Yo, thanks for the follow, bro, Cup. Whoa. I don't even know how to say your name. I'm gonna just call you Cup, bro. Thanks for the follow, bro.
I did more for you than the whole of TDE, it wasn't so much of an insult as an abolishment that Ray got what he wanted. Along the way, he palmed off some of those features on GNX, such as AZ Chike, with a singular witty line, and at every opportunity dropped the punchline which seemed to be more compelling than Daylight's multiple diss tracks about him. With that, it was clear that Joey was in the driver's seat, with most hip-hop commentators all agreeing that Joey was winning. From there, Joe Budden added that he simply overshadows any of the West Coast enemies as he's simply in a different class.
It's easy to dismiss Ray Vaughn and Daylight and anybody on TDE that's not Kendrick, Solo, Rock, Schoolboy, anybody else over there is easily dismissed. Sorry.
And along the way, Joey seemed to agree, spitting, "I'm the real boogeyman. Y'all should be afraid. Get the general. I'm killing his troops. Don't make me Pulitzer. Better be wise because I'm dotting T's and crossing your I's like Whitaker." Setting a 24-hour shot clock violation on
I'm crossing your eyes like Whitaker. All right, that's damn okay.
responses.
Okay.
Joey let it be known that he could best these opponents, and rather than being contentious, everyone practically agreed. But while this has naturally painted Joey in a positive light by reaffirming everything we knew about him, it was Sean C. of all people that believes that it won't be the emphatic win he's been hoping for in the long run, as while all things like this can be fun, ultimately it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things when they're simply doing it for sport.
I don't think it's a coincidence that
we're out of Pringles.
Yeah, bro. You want to win. Bro, the win that you're going to get is not the win that you want. I'm going to just be honest. Like, you're not going to gain fame off of friendly victory. You're not going to gain fame off of, you know what I'm saying? If it's just a lyrical spar. Bro, nobody cares.
someone talks about the greatest hip-hop conflicts between artists, between rappers, none of those conflicts that they reference stem from friendly competition.
From there, he argued that it won't be the fresh coat of paint on his legacy in hip-hop that it could have been when many consumers, like Sean, don't see beef as a benchmark for greatness.
The credit I'm trying to give him can only be applied if Kendrick replies. All these years, so many rappers have been defined by who they've bested in a rap battle or a rap beef before. And I've never felt like that was a relevant way to quantify someone's status in the world of hip hop or in rap music. Your catalog and your bodies of work speak for themselves. That is what define you. That is what makes you the best.
Aiming for the king, but landing in the court, Joey has invested serious energy into his back and forth. But responses from the likes of Hidda J3, Daylight, and a few others just haven't delivered the payoff he was hoping for. Daylight, while a respected battle rapper, has never been known for crafting full-fledged songs, and after dropping the most incendiary, deeply disrespectful bars of the entire exchange, even taking aim at Joey's unborn child, he bowed out of the beef with end credits, where he surprisingly gave Joey his flowers. The ruler's back. Oh, you the man, Joey. Today I crown you the king of New York for taking that stand, Joey. You really took the fade with all of us. A brave man. New York made man. It should say immortal when you're Graveland. In this sense, the whole exchange ended up highlighting the shortcomings of the West Coast's rapping underclass more than it elevated Joey, because rather than positioning Joey as the dominant force, it exposed the lack of compelling challengers on the other side, and ultimately the problem remains that it never captured an audience beyond die-hard hip-hop heads, with even the finest tracks from the whole exchange averaging under 1 million views. From a strictly lyrical standpoint, some could argue that a track like Crash Dummy is miles ahead of Euphoria or Family Matters in terms of pure bars. However, neither the primary artist behind it or those he's aiming at is enough to move the needle to the same degree. And as for the East Coast artists who tagged in to help, tracks by the likes of Kai Cash, CJ Fly, Nick Caution, and Nico Brims.
I don't even know who these niggas are, bro. They got niggas cousins in this goddamn beef, bro. Like, who is these niggas, bro? Who these niggas, bro? What happened to the black guy in the beginning? What black guy in the beginning? That's academics. Or Big. You talk about Biggie?
His attempts to aid him haven't meaningfully made a dent in the culture either. In the end, Ray Vaughn is the only one who really gained, because even though he's been beat, his music received a 700% rise on May 11th, 2025, gaining around 170,000 new views. He also saw a notable increase in Spotify monthly listeners, with a 600% jump to 26,000 new listeners on April 29th, 2025, all the while Joey isn't getting what he wants.
I just sort of like wonder how far this is going to go down and if Joey's going to focus more on sort of like Ray Vaughn going forward from here, because Ray, I think in Joey's head, is kind of like the pathway to what he really wants, and that's a response from Kendrick. As much as, yes, it is true, there is like a Daylight and Kendrick connection, I don't think destroying Daylight or continuing to go at Daylight is going to bring Joey any closer to that, at least in his own mind. I think he probably sees the TDE and the Ray Vaughn responses and everything as sort of like more blood in the water in terms of like what I actually want and where my focus needs to be.
All right, Kendrick, if I was Kendrick Lamar, I'm not responding to Joey Badass. He needs a hit. He needs a hit without dissing me, or he just needs a hit. No, 2 hits. 2 hits. I need 2 hits out of him before I respond. I don't care how good you rap, my nigga. I need 2 of them out of you. You give me 2, then I'll respond. All right.